If you're a Dachshund lover, you know how adorable these little doggos can be. Their long bodies and short legs make them look goofy, and their ears are so floppy they look like they could use them to wipe their butts. But don't let their looks fool you. Doxies have just as much to say as any other dog, if not more. And while you might be familiar with their signature bark, they communicate in many other ways too. So what are some of those ways? Well, let's find out. In this video, we'll be looking at how Dachshunds communicate with each other and with us humans. We'll be focusing on both verbal and nonverbal communication, including their barks, growls, whimpers, howls, body language, and more. So if you want to learn how to better understand your furry friend, then keep watching because by the end of this video, you'll be a certified Doxie whisperer. Okay, maybe not that much, but you will learn a thing or two about these sassy canines and hopefully better understand what they're trying to tell you. So get ready. You're in for a treat. Before we get into it, now back to our long and skinny topic at hand. When it comes to barks, there is no shortage of them coming from a Dachshund. They seem to have a bark for every occasion, such as when someone is approaching the house, when they want to play, when they need to go out, when they see another dog, cat or human, and even when they're dreaming. In fact, if you try to count all the different types of barks a Dachshund has, you'll probably run out of time before you run out of bark variations. But here are some of the more common ones. First, there's the classic open field bark. This is the sound you hear when your dog sees a squirrel and wants to chase it. It's usually loud, long and drawn out. Then there's the alert bark. This is the sound a Dachshund makes when he hears something unusual or feels threatened. It's often short and sharp and can be followed by growling or even biting if the perceived threat continues. Next, we have the territorial bark. This is when your dog barks at people or animals that are in his space or on his property. Like the alert bark, it can also be short and sharp and may escalate to growling or biting. The play bark is what you hear when your dog wants to play. It's usually high-pitched and sounds like a lot of fun. And finally, there's the demand bark. This is when your dog wants something from you, such as food, water, or attention. It's often repeated several times until you give it to him. But barks aren't the only way Dachshunds communicate. They also use body language to convey their message. For example, when they're feeling confident, they'll stand tall with their chest out and their tail up. When they're feeling shy or submissive, they'll crouch down with their head and tail tucked between their legs. And when they're feeling playful, they'll wag their tail and maybe even roll over on their back. Of course, these are just a few examples. And there are many other ways a Dachshund can communicate through its body language. So pay close attention to your furry friend next time you see them. You never know what they might be trying to tell you. Now let's look at some other vocalizations a Dachshund makes. First, we have whining. This is a high-pitched sound that your dog makes when he's in distress or discomfort. It can also be used as a demand vocalization, such as when your dog wants to go outside. Next, there's whimpering. This is similar to whining, but it's often lower-pitched and slower. It's typically used during the first few weeks of life by puppies when they re-separated from their mother or littermates. It can also be used by adult dogs when they're anxious or fearful. Growling is another vocalization you might hear from your Dachshund. This is a low-pitched sound that's used to warn off potential threats. It can also be used during play to show that your dog is having fun. And finally, there's howling. This is a long, drawn-out sound that can be heard from miles away. It's often used by dogs to communicate with other dogs or their owners when they're separated. So now that we've covered some of the most common vocalizations made by Dachshunds, let us take a closer look at each one and discuss what it means when your dog uses it. Starting with barking. A single sharp bark could mean that your dog wants to get your attention or alert you to something in his environment. A series of barks could mean that he's excited, wants to play, or is trying to tell you something. A deep bark could mean that your dog is angry or frustrated. And a high-pitched bark could mean that he's scared or anxious. If your dog is barking excessively, it could mean that he's bored, needs exercise, or wants something from you. Moving on to whining. A high-pitched whine could mean that your dog is in pain or has an injury. A low-pitched whine could mean that he's sad, anxious, or fearful. If your dog is whining excessively, it could mean that he needs to go outside or has a medical condition that needs to be addressed by a vet. Growling is a sign of aggression and should always be taken seriously. If your dog is growling, it's best to give him space and let him calm down. He may be feeling threatened or cornered and is trying to tell you that he's uncomfortable. If growling is persistent, it could be a sign of a behavioral issue that needs to be addressed with a professional. Finally, there's howling. A single howl could mean that your dog is lonely or wants to communicate with other dogs. A chorus of howls could mean that there's a group of dogs in the area that are communicating with each other. If your dog is howling excessively, it could be a sign of a medical condition that needs to be addressed by a vet. As you can see, there are many different ways a dachshund communicates with us. By paying attention to their verbal and nonverbal cues, we can better understand what they're trying to tell us. So next time you see your long and skinny friend, remember everything you learned here, and see if you can decipher what they're saying. Who knows? You might just become a certified Doxie whisperer. Alright, we may have gotten a little carried away with that last statement, but the point stands. Paying attention to your dog's communication style is important for building a strong bond with them. It also helps you provide them with the care and attention they need to be happy and healthy dogs. And speaking of health, did you know that dachshunds are prone to certain health conditions due to their unique shape? That's right. Their long backs make them susceptible to back problems, while their short legs make them prone to leg issues. But don't worry, we got you covered with our video on the top 5 health issues all Doxies are prone to and how to avoid them. Plus, we'll share some tips on how to keep your furry friend active and happy despite their health challenges. So if you want to learn more about keeping your dachshund healthy, make sure to check out that video next. Click the link on screen now and we'll see you there.